Okay, great. All right, so for those of y'all who don't know who I am, my name is Amir Mubarak. I'm currently 20 years old, as well as a sapphire in the business, right? And we're getting ready to run a basics training call, right? Now, before we go ahead and run this basics training call, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about why it's so important to hop on calls like this consistently. I always tell people, if you're not comfortable to run the call, then you should be comfortable enough to still get on. Right now, these calls like basic trainings or Thai Pips Forex fundamentals or risk management or maximizing profits that Majay hosts, right? These are the calls that help me go from not knowing how to trade to having a decent understanding, as well as to be able to show others how to trade as well. So it's super, super, super imperative that you guys not only sit here and watch these Zoom calls, but you also take notes, right? We want to take notes because note takers are money makers. But also, I like to add something else to that as well. The ones who apply those notes are the ones that become rich, right? So let's make sure that we have notes that we can apply so that way we can all become rich, right? Now, first things first, I'm going to tell you guys about when it comes to trading is going to be a buy versus sell, right? Now, when it comes to trading, we got something called trends. So that's going to be number one. Number one, our trends, right? We have three types of trends. We have the uptrend. And can you guys see my screen clearly? Can you guys see my whiteboard? Okay, cool. I just saw a thumbs up, right? So the first one is going to be an uptrend. The second one is a downtrend, right? And the third one is going to be something called consolidation, right? Consolidation. And the first two are exactly what it sounds like. In an uptrend, the market is moving up and we want to buy. And you'll sometimes hear this called bullish. Bullish, right? The third one, the market is moving down. You want to sell, right? And this you'll hear being called bearish, right? And then the third one, the market is moving left to right. We don't buy or sell, we actually wait. Right now, the way that I remember bullish versus bearish is I think of an actual bull. The bull's trying to get you up off of him, right? It throws you up into the air, right? A downtrend where it calls bearish, I always think like a bear is hibernating. It's going down to sleep, right? And then consolidation, it's going to wait, right? That's how I remember it. That's smart. Okay, cool. Glad to hear someone else does that as well. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what these trends look like. So let's do an example. Y'all, I'm not going to lie. I need to buy a bigger whiteboard so that way I can do these Zoom calls. All right. So let's just say you got the market looking like this. Okay, cool. So let's just say this is a chart right here. Now, this right here, can anybody tell me what this is called? Can anybody tell me what this would be called? We just went over this. What would this be called? What kind of trend would this be? Bearish, right? Yes, this would be bearish momentum or a downtrend. Exactly, right? So this is a downtrend. I'm going to abbreviate it to DT, right? And this means we would sell from the top, right? Now this right here, moving up. This right here is moving up. So what type of momentum would this have? Or what kind of trend would this be? An uptrend, exactly. I'm going to abbreviate this as well. UT, uptrend, and that's bearish. Now for an uptrend, do we want to buy or do we want to sell? Let's see who can tell me. We want to buy. Exactly. And I just saw that there was a question. I'm about to answer that real quick. Let's see. Is there any way that I can go back and watch this again later to refer back to? Yes, Beth, I'm recording it right now. As soon as I get the link for this, I'm not sure 100% of this is going to be uploaded on YouTube, but reach out to me. I'll try to get you that link as soon as possible, right? Now, this right here, what kind of trend is this? What kind of trend is this right here? There's not any real movement. It's moving which direction? What are we going to call this? Exactly. This is consolidation, right? Or price trap. I like that. Consolidation. Right? So that means we want to wait, right? We really want to wait to make sure that we wait for the right call, for the right movement, because let's just say we entered right here on a buy. Cool. It might buy for about 10 to 15 pips, and then it could sink. And that's why we wait, because we wait for our signals. We wait for our parameters and stuff like that. We wait for our specific candles or our indicators. That was the word I was looking for. We wait for our indicators to match up with our analysis, right? And that's why it's important to learn how to actually trade too, right? So bam, that's that. Drop a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Drop a question mark if you're still a little confused. All right, twos. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna go on to the next thing. Now, the next thing that we're gonna talk about are going to be parameters. All right, and I hope everyone is taking notes. So number 2, parameters. Now, just like trends, there's also 3 types of parameters, right? We have the entry price, as I call the EP, right? We also have the stop loss, called the SL. And then we also have the take profit. Oh, wow, that K looks really bad. Or sometimes you can call it target point. And that's going to be called ATP. Now let's explain what these are, right? Now, an entry price is exactly what it sounds like, where you entered in the market, right? Where you entered in the market. Now, a stop loss is an SL, right? That is kind of like a safety net. It keeps you from losing too much money, right? And the third one is going to be a take profit or a target point, and those are going to be points in the market where we're targeting, or points in the market, prices in the market where we're going to be seeing profit, right? Points in the market where we're going to see and take our profit, right? So now let's talk about buy versus sell. Now let's just say we're buying USD CAD, US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, right? So we got a chart. We're just gonna say we're buying right here. We're buying right here. Now, what is this dot right here? What's this called? What are we gonna call that one? What would that be? See, does anybody know? Entry, right? That's gonna be our entry price. So EP. Now, since this is a buy, which direction do we want the market to go in? Up or down? Isaiah, thank you. Up. So that means our stop loss is going to be above or below the entry price. Below. Exactly. So our stop loss, and Isaiah, I thank you for answering all these questions, bro. Let's see. I know you've been on multiple different basic training, so let's see if we can get some new people to enter it too. I love the enthusiasm, bro. Let's see. So now our stop loss is going to be below the entry price, right? And that's because we don't want the trade to go down, right? Because if it goes down, we're technically in red, right? Yeah, for real. Good job, Isaiah, though. Right now, our take profit, is that going to be above or below our entry price? Is take profit going to be above or below? Who can tell me? Let's see. Above. Exactly. Right. And that's because that's where we want to make our money. So TP is going to be above. Right. This is green, or in MetaTrader, that's going to be blue. That's where we're going to make our money. Now, stop loss, right? This area right here is where we would be losing money. Now, I want to make something very clear. Just because it's in this red area doesn't mean that you've lost, right? Until that trade hits stop loss, you still have the potential to make some money, right? If it doesn't hit stop loss, you still have the potential to make money. Like Isaiah said, that's what we call a pullback, right? Imagine this is a bow and arrow, right? If we want the arrow to go this direction, where do we pull the string? Back. That builds us momentum, like a slingshot or like a bow and arrow, right? So now let's just say this was the exact opposite. Instead of a buy, this is a sell. All right, this is a sell USD cap. All right, so we're gonna y'all can't tell I'm related to Picasso. Look at that artwork, A1. All right. So now that right there, that dot, what is that called right there? What is that dot called right here? Who knows? We just went over it. It's one of our parameters. Entry, EP, exactly. Amazing. Entry. Right? Now, since this is a sell, which direction do we want the market to move in? Up or down? Down, exactly. Right? So does that mean our stop loss is going to be above or below entry? Above, exactly. Since we want the market to move down, up would be losing money, right? So that means our take profit has to be where? Above or below the entry price? Our take profit has to be where? Above or below the entry price on a sell? Below, exactly. Bam, TP. So now every trade is always going to have a stop loss and a take profit. Always. The placement of those stop losses and take profits are going to differ whether it's a buy or a sell. Does that make sense for everyone? Drop a 7 if that makes sense. Drop a question mark if you're still a little bit confused. Okay, we got a 7, 7, 7, 7s. Love to see that, right? Everyone, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is where people learn. This is where people learn how to make money off of their phones. Stuff like this, right? We're going to continue on to the next one. All right. And y'all, I'm going to be running basics Wednesday and Friday as well. So feel free to hop on those to gain some value. All right. So the next thing that we want to talk about, we need to erase this too. All right. Next thing are going to be pips. Right. Pips. Now, pips are the increments of, no, not every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just this week. Yeah. So pips are the increments that the market moves in, right? Like feet when you walk, or miles when you drive, or ounces when you drink. That is the increment that the market moves in specific, right? So a step in the market, or the number change in the market, is relative to the pips, right? So let's do an example. So 2, 8, 3, 5. All right, let's use this example right here. 1.15382. Now these all different values, right? This 2 right here is worth 0.2 pips. This 8 is worth 8 pips. This 3 is worth 30. This 5 is worth 500. This 1 is worth 1,000. And this one right here is worth 10,000. Now, it's good to know this when we are doing our own stop loss and take profit, right? Now, this 2 right here, that's only worth 0.2 pips. This is what we call a pipette, right? Now, since this is not worth a full pip, we are not going to count that when it comes to adding and subtracting pips. It's kind of like a placeholder, if that makes any sense. So let's do some examples, right? We're going to use this exact same number. All right, we're going to use this exact same number. Bam. Now we're going to add 30 pips. Can anybody tell me what the new number is going to be? We're adding 30 pips. Who can tell me what the new number is going to be? Let's see. Who knows? $1.15682. Exactly. Who said that? Beth. Beth, text me after this call. I will cash app you $10. Beth, you just won yourself $10. Cool. So 1.15682. That is the number that's going to be the new one, right? Now, let's do another one. All right. So let's just say we're going to subtract 5 pips. What is the new number? 1 point what? Let's see. Let's see. 1.15332. Exactly. 1.15332. Amazing. That is the correct number. Right? It's just that simple. Now let's do another one. Let's do one more. Let's add 100 pips. Let's add 100. What's our new number? $1.16382. Thank you, Isaiah. That's exactly right. Now, something that I want you guys to remember when it comes to pips is that on the Shift app, it moves in increments of pips. So Shift does pips. Titan does points. Now, 10 pips is equal to 1 point. 10 pips equals to 1 point. So typically when you see on Titan that TP1 is 12 points, it's actually 120 pips. Right? So it's good to know that, especially when we're talking about lot size, which is what I'm going to go over next, right? Drop a 7 if this all makes sense. Drop a question mark if you're still a bit confused. Okay, amazing. Okay, nothing but 7s. I love to see that. That means that we're learning. That means that we're understanding. That means that we're grasping it. Now, look, don't drop a 7 if this doesn't make any sense to you guys. Feel free to ask a question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We are here to help, right? So the next one that we're going to go over is going to be lot size. All right, I think this is what, number 4? Yeah, so we did trends, parameters, pips. Yep, 4 is lot size. All right, so 4 is lot size. Now, when you guys hear lot size, I want you to equate that to risk. Your lot size is equal to your risk, right? Now, there are 3 general lot sizes. We're going to draw a quick little chart right here. Bam. Right now, does anybody know what the first one is called? Micro, exactly. Right? Anybody know the second? Okay, Isaiah already got them all down. So mini, and then standard. Those are the names for the 3 types of lot sizes. Right now, in the middle, this is what they're going to look like in your MetaTrader app. Right? Micro is going to be a 0.01, a mini is going to 0.10, and the standard is going to be 1.00, and you know every number in between. Bam. Right? Now, this next column is going to represent dollars per pip. Right? Now, a micro is equal to 10 cents per pip. A mini is worth $1 per pip. And a standard is going to be worth $10 per pip. Now, this is for shift, right? This is for shift. Let's just say this third one is Titan. Yeah. Let's add another column. This is going to be shift. This is Titan. $1 per pip. Right? So for a micro, it's going to be $1 per pip or $1 per point. Okay, we're going to do $1 per point. Right? A mini is going to be worth $10 per point. And a standard is going to be $10 or $100 per point. Bam. Okay, cool. So now with that same example, we're going to lower this a little bit and we're going to do some examples, right? So this is just, we're going to be just talking about the pip side, so just shift, right? So we're going to have a 30 pip take profit for shift. Person A does a micro. Person B does a mini. Oh, wow, it's terrible. There we go, mini. And person C does a standard. How much money did person A make? Right, it's 10 cents per pip, and we got 30 pips, $3, exactly. How much money did person B make? $30, exactly. And person C, how much money did they make? 300, exactly. $300. Right, now let's do another example. Right, same take profit, still 30 pips, different lot sizes. Let's do a 0.03, 0.50, and 2.00. How much money did person A make? If it's 30 cents per pip and there's 30 pips, $9. Exactly. Right? This one is $5 per pip and there's 30 pips. How much money did person B make? See, does anybody know? It's actually not 15. 15 would be a 0.03. I mean, 05. It's 150. Exactly. 150 because it's $5 per pip. Now this one, $20 per pip. What would be the profit for this one? Take 2 times 3 is what? And then add the 2 zeros. 600, exactly. $600. Bam. All right. It's family, I swear, it's just that simple. It really is. Right? So, how can we make sure? How do we know that we're going to use the right lot size? Because here, well, shoot, if I can just throw in a 2.0 or even a 0.50 and make $100 plus per trade, $600 per trade, why don't I just throw in those lot sizes? Why even stick with $9? It doesn't make sense. Well, here's the thing. What happens if there's a pullback or maybe even stop loss is 30 pips? Okay, most accounts can handle a $9 loss. That makes sense. Can your account handle a $150 loss? Ooh, that might be a little tough right there. Can your account even handle a $600 loss? Even if it doesn't, maybe stop loss is 50 pips, but maybe it goes down 30 before it hits TP1. Can your account even handle that loss before it goes back up? And most accounts can't. So what I'm going to be talking about next is called the 10% rule. 10% rule. Typically, most people start off their accounts with $100. Typically, it's $100. Right? Now, if you're in a position to be able to fund up more, I suggest it, right? But now, what's 10% of 100? Does anybody know? 10% of 100. Who knows? 10. Okay, exactly. So this is what we call your max lot size, right? And this is not just a 10, it's actually a 0.10. So what does that mean? That means if we have $100 in our account, we can have up to 10 0.01s. I think that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. You add that up together, and we're talking about active trades. That equals 0.10. That's good. We're there. Maybe even couple 0.02s. We got 5 of those going on. That equals 0.10. That's good. We're still within our 10%. Now, I don't recommend risking 10% every single time just because you can. I'm just saying that if you really want to, that's maximum that you can risk, right? You could even 0.05, 0.05. You're good. That's 0.10, right? Now, you can even mix and match your lot sizes, right? So let's just say we had 0.03 for first trade, 0.04 the second. That's 0.07 added right now. So let's do a 0.02, right? We're at 0.09 right now. How much do I have left to use? How much do I have left to use? Does anybody know? I like to be interactive with y'all. I want to make sure that you guys are still tapped in. Exactly, Bria. We got 0.01 left. But what if I decide to go for a 0.02 again? What's my total right now? What's my total right now? Someone asked. Yeah, 0.11, exactly. 0.11. Someone asked, so I have $1,000 in your account, I can risk 0.10 10 times? Technically, yes, but that would equal a standard. So $1,000 is 100. That's 10% standard right there, 0.10 or a 1.00. That makes sense. But I think, yeah. So, yep, Isaiah, I saw that question. So yeah, so $1,000, 10% of that is 100. So your new lot size max would be 1.00. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Cool. Beautiful. Right. That was an amazing question. Right. So now this 0.11 right here, this is above our 10% rule. So this is what we call. Does anybody know what we call this? It starts with the word over. Right. If it's $200, Your new 10% is 0.20, right? So over leverage, exactly. Leverage. Now, the thing that is bad with over leveraging is that you're risking too much than your account can handle. And the best way that I can explain that is, let's just say you go to the gym and your max bench press is 100 pounds, right? You can only bench 100 pounds one time. You can only rep it out one time, right? Now, what happens if someone throws in another weight, another plate on each side? Oh, wow, you're gonna struggle to keep that above you, right? Now someone throws in another plate. Well, you can barely keep that above your neck. And then someone throws on another plate, and now that bar crushes you, right? And that's because you were trying to carry or lift way too much weight than what you're capable of doing, more than you can handle. So when you risk and over leverage too much on your account, you're essentially crushing it because your account hasn't, you're going over the max, right? You've leveraged way too much. You put too much weight than your account can risk. Thank you. Right? So we want to make sure that we stay within our 10% rule, because a couple things can happen when you over leverage. One, you could blow your account. Blow account. And all that means is that you lose all the money in there. Right? Number two, I've even seen some brokers go into the negatives. They'll take your accounts, not only will they empty it, but then they'll make it even go to the negative. So now you owe the broker money. And number three, right? Sometimes the broker will even take you out of that trade before it hits stop loss, just in case you accidentally blow your account. They want to make sure that you don't blow your account, so they'll even pull you out of the trade early. Even if that trade goes and hits take profit later, it'll pull you out of that account early. So pull early. Right? Now, there is a fourth option. And that is, you might get lucky and it hits take profit and you make more money than most people do. Right? But I don't think that this thing right here outweighs these three. Y'all think so? Y'all think getting lucky outweighs the other three? I understand. We are human beings and we get greedy. And sometimes, we may be going through a rough time, and we want to make some extra money. So we might think, okay, you know what, 0.02 and a little extra 0.02, that's not gonna hurt. That's not gonna hurt. Let me throw on an extra 0.02. And then guess what happens? You lose your account. And I understand. I want to tell you guys that it is a part of the journey. You're just gonna lose your account, right? And until you do so, you're gonna over leverage until you blow your account. It's just human nature. We don't learn until we see a consequence. Yeah, number 4, that's basically gambling, and we don't want to gamble here. Yeah, I've blown plenty of accounts before. I probably lost thousands of dollars in the market before realizing, okay, I can't over leverage. I just can't. It's not worth it. Right? So that's it for lot size. Drop a 7 if that makes sense. Drop a question mark if it doesn't. 7, 7, 7. Amazing. Okay, cool. I'm glad to see that y'all are learning. Oh, okay. Ernesto, bro. Unmute yourself and ask me a question, my guy.
All right. Hey, yo. So I'm actually at work right now. I'm trying to keep up with the notes. I lost track at the 0.1 stuff.
Okay. Which aspect? Like, you talking about like the max lot size?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically if your account is at 10%, right? Your account is 10%, that's your max lot size. So let's just say your account is at $100, 10% of that is 10. So that means your max lot size is 0.10. So that means all of your active trades can equal to up to that 10%. Does that make sense?
Okay, so all the active trades can equal to 10%?
Yes, right? So you see how we got 10.01s going on right here?
Yeah.
When you add that up, that's a 0.10, right? These 2s, we got 5 of them. If you add 5.02s, those equal to 0.10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now you see right here where I go 0.03, 0.04, 0.02, 0.02.
Yeah, it doesn't work out because it goes over the 10.
Exactly. And that's called over leveraging, which means that we're risking more than account can handle, which means one of these four things could happen, and we don't want that. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense for you now, my man?
Yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Bet. Love to hear that. Shout out to my man, NATO. Bro just joined today. Not only is he literally on the call at work, but he's asking questions as well. So I know he's paying attention. Shout out NATO, bro. You're going to see a lot of success in him. Right. So, and if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me separately. I'm more than happy to help. All right. So this is the last and final thing before I show you how to plug in a trade on MetaTrader. All right. So number five. Number five is going to be the type of trades. Right? Types of trades. I think someone just asked a question. I appreciate you guys. Oh, okay. Yeah. Bet. All right. So now there are two types of trades. The first one is market execution. Now on shift, on the top right of every single trade, you'll see what type of trade it is. It'll tell you, right? So the first one is going to be market execution. So that means it activates at current price. So it literally activates immediately. As soon as you hit buy or sell by market, bam, it throws you in that trade immediately. And this consists of about 98% of shift trades and 100% of Titan trades. Right now, the second one that we have are pending trades. Now, there are technically four types of pending trades, but I'm only going to go over two because those are the ones that shift uses, right? So we're going to have a buy limit, and we're going to have a sell limit. All right. So now pending trades are just trades that activate at a certain price, right? Trades that activate at a certain price. So we're going to do a quick little drawing. So let's do two lines underneath or next to these names, or next to the, yeah. So bam. Now these black lines are going to represent EP, entry price, right? Now for a buy limit, so remember, this is entry price. Now a pending trade is a trade that activates at a certain price. So that means current price for a buy limit is going to be above entry price, right? We expect that trade to go down and hit that price, and then we expect that price to continue to skyrocket. That's what a buy limit does. Now a sell limit is the exact opposite. What a sell limit does is it starts below the entry price, it goes up and hits the entry price, and then it shoots back down. That's what we expect a sell limit to do. Drop a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Drop a question mark if you're a little bit confused. Okay, so we got 2s in the chat. Excellent. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to plug in both of these types of trades in MetaTrader, okay? So give me 1 second. And I'm so glad to see that you guys are learning a bunch of information from this Zoom call. Let me fix my ring light. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is share my screen so that way you guys can see what I see. Drop a 1 in the chat once you can see my screen. Drop a 1 in the chat once you can see my screen. Okay, cool. Excellent. Right. And we're actually really lucky because Shift has both of these types of trades out right now. Right. So let's look at this trade right here. GU At the top right, this says market execution. So we know that we're going to plug in this trade immediately. Now, something that I want to tell you guys is that if you already see that it has hit a take profit, do not enter that trade. We do not want to enter that trade. If it's already hit a take profit and you have not entered that trade, do not enter it again, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We see that this is a GBP USD trade. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go, I'm on a demo account right now. We're going to go and find GU. Doesn't look like it's on here. So guess what I'm going to, oh, actually it is right here, GBP USD, right? I'm going to hit trade and bam. At the top, you can see that it says market execution. And now it tells me stop loss and a take profit. So I'm going to come over here, hit copy for a stop loss, come over here, and then hit paste. I'm going to come over here, pick a take profit. We're just going to hit TP2. Come over here, delete this, hit paste. At the very top, that's where I choose my, my lot size. So I'm just going to do a 0.01. And then this is a buy right next to where it says entry at, copy, and then it says buy. All right, so we're going to come back here and enter in at that trade. Oh, I did a 0.1. Okay, cool. Now, at the very top, you can actually see that this is an AUD CAD trade. This trade is still good to get into, guys. If you want to enter this trade, we can do it together, right? So we can see that this is AUD CAD. That's the currency pair, right? So we're going to find AUD CAD. We're going to click on it and click trade. Now, on the top right, you're going to see that this says it's a limit order. So that means that this is a pending trade. Also at the bottom right, you see where it says pending, right? So we also see that it's a buy. So this is going to be a buy limit. What you want to do is come over here where it says market execution. You want to click on it and click buy limit. Now, not only do you have to plug in a stop loss and take profit, but you're also going to plug in a price. Now, where do we find this price, Amir? That's going to be right here where Bry's entry ad is. We're going to hit copy for that. We're going to come over here and hit paste. We're going to go and copy our stop loss. We're going to delete this, hit paste. And we're going to come to our take profits. We're going to pick one, come over here and hit paste. Right, then we choose our lot size, and then we're gonna hit place. Right, now once we do that, you can see that it's currently not active. Now if we were to go over to chart, you can see where price currently is at. Price is all the way up here. Now this is not going to activate until price hits down here. Now, if you trade with Bry, you know that he's typically a swing trader, which means that he likes to trade on the hour 4 and daily chart, which means that this isn't going to be a one-day trade. You're typically going to enter and hold it for a couple of days, maybe even a week before it hits a take profit. But that's because he likes to, high risk, high reward. So yeah, so Bry is a swing trader. Now let's come over here, GBP USD. Real quick, I want to enter a couple of trades really, really fast. So that way you guys can see what it looks like with the lot size difference. So we're gonna do this by 1 by 1.0 by. Okay, cool. I think I got them all at the same price. Okay, cool. So let's close this. Now we're actually going to keep that real quick. We're going to delete this. Yeah, if you want to delete it, just hit the check mark and hit delete. So you can see with a 0.01, it's negative 18 cents, 0.10, negative $1.80, and a standard $18. Right? You can see how that differentiates on the different lot sizes. Right? So it's super important for you to make sure that you properly risk your account. So if you have a $50 account, you just entered that trade and you're automatically in the negatives 18 cents or $18, right? And now I want to make it very clear, anytime you enter a trade, it's automatically going to be in the reds. There's not any movement right now because the market is closed It closes from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day, so it should open up in a couple of minutes. So let's go back on Zoom call. Let me see if there are any questions before I answer. My Shift app wouldn't let me on earlier. And that's because you just signed up, bro. It should let you on soon. Wait, you copy the entry for the price section in MetaTrader? Yes, if it's a pending trade. Never knew how to take these trades. Wow, thanks. Entry, yes. Knew what broker do you use? I use I use KOT. You can always use any different brokers. I recommend either KOT or Fair Forex. So I'm also going to show you guys some very, very, very exclusive sauce that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know this trick. So let's just say I want to manually close this trade, right? You go over here and hit the check mark. Now, let's just say this was in profit, $19, and I wanted to take partial profits of this trade. This is what I can do. Instead of hitting close at the very bottom, I can edit my lot size. Now I can't go higher. It won't let me actually close like that. But what I can do is I can take half of it, right? Or I can take a quarter of it or whatever. Now, once I click out of there, you can see how my loss goes in half from 18 to now 9. And now I can close with, let's just say this was $9 profit. It's going to now be right here. And I'm still active in that trade. So family, you can take partial profits from your trading. It's really dope. A lot of people don't know that we can do that with anything above a 0.01. You can't do anything, a 0.01, you can't get less than that. But let's just say you want to go over here, you click close position. I'm going to switch this to a 0.05. Now watch, it's at $1.18 right now. Watch how it goes in half. Bam, 90 cents. I took half of my loss right there. Now notice with a 0.01, you obviously can't go, it just doesn't work. It just goes back to a 0.01. Now, if I were to try to a 0.02, it'll let me type it, but bam, it doesn't let me close. You can't risk higher in a trade once you've already entered it. So yeah, family, that right there is the sauce on how to trade. That right there is the sauce on how to trade. All right, let's see. Gotcha. Thanks. Can you say that again? Like, explain it again. Okay, Beth, what you're going to do is you go to close the trade, right? At your lot size at the very top, you would just go less, and you can take partial profits, and you can close out of that with partial profits, right? So just like that, super, super simple. Now, before I end off this call, because we're getting ready to hit that 1 hour mark, you guys, it's super, super, super imperative that you stay active so that way you can continue to get access to the Shift app, to Relic, to the WOW calls, to the Zoom calls like this, where you can actually learn how to trade. So you're basically closing, getting half of profit or loss, and continue holding the trade with the remainder. Exactly, Bria. Exactly. Right. So family, just like that, basic training is now over. I'm going to try to get the recording as fast as possible for you guys so you can go back and watch. You guys have a blessed day. I'm going to drop my Instagram in the chat. My Instagram is ltg.amir. Not for the follow, not for the likes, but so that way you guys can, always have access to me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you guys want to post this on your story, definitely do so. You guys have a blessed day. Take care.